channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today on the Originals series, I've got a very beautiful stunning watch to review today. Now, I've had this watch for, best part of 6 months, and from when I first saw this a long time ago, I've wanted one of these. Now, this is a Seiko Premier automatic. Now, it's from the Premier line of watches that Seiko do. So they're mostly dress watches. They also do quartz versions. Just a few points about the Premier line. They are fashion watches, quite luxurious, really lovely, and the way they look. They've got great craftsmanship. And what they also give is standard specifications like see-through case backs, and they'll give, if it's automatic, and they'll provide all of them with like sapphire crystal and stuff. So they are quite pricey when it comes to it. Even the quartz models. I think one of my first chronographs was a Premier chronograph. I don't have that anymore. I sold that a long time ago. But it was a really nice top quality watch for me. So one of the first things which I want to start at is obviously the dial. Now this, usually it's all about the divers on the Seikos. But if you are a fan of dress watches, personally I've only got two, this and the Presage. I don't really like any others. And I think another chronograph quartz which might come into sort of a dress watch / sport. But the level of detail offered in this Premier Seiko is phenomenal. Now this is a model which is called the SSA213J1. This is made in Japan. You can see that on the dial. But if I bring your attention to a whole host of features on this dial, I think it's absolutely amazing the way they've done it. Now, the first thing which you can see is obviously the open heart movement. So this is the 4R39. They do have a whole range of 4R39 watches, which gives you this mesmerizing view of the mechanism. You can see how that's taking away. So if you're into your watches, you're an enthusiast, you know what, you can watch this literally ticking away all day. To me, that's the main feature of this watch. Second, if we look at the hands, you see this lovely blue metallic. The only other watch I've seen this blue metallic on is one of the chronographs I have reviewed on the original series, one of the first original series videos. I have it right here. And they've got a similar blue metallic on the chronograph hand and the alarm hands. I love that blue so much. It just gleams so well, and especially when it's out in the sun. So let's look at a couple other features on the dial. You've got Roman numerals around the outside, and you've got numbers on the inside that go from 5 to 35. You've also got these indices that go from the 11 o'clock all the way around to the 7 o'clock position, with the chamfered edges, high polish. And as you can tell, this dial, the thing that I love about this dial is there's so many dimensions to it. So if you have a look in the center, you've got this beautiful silver starburst or sunburst dial. And then you've got around the indices where you've got cutouts which show the back of the dial, which is textured with lines. Then you've got these rings which go around the indices and around the Roman numeral markers, and then you've got these 2 screws here which show like another piece has been screwed down to show the open heart. You've also got a 24-hour indicator on the top left, Seiko in the center, Premier automatic. Now for me, on a dial that is just so detailed with so many features, and it's really a watch that needs to be appreciated. Moving on to the case finish, it's all high polished. Now this is a used watch, so you'll see, you know, nicks and scuffs, whatever, but a very beautiful polish to the whole case. For me personally, for this watch, it is a piece which stands out. You know, you can't take your eyes off it. When I wear my watches, I love obviously looking at them, which I'm sure most of you do. I think it's absolutely stunning the way they've done this dial, and of course the open heart movement. So a feature of the movement is a 24 joule movement, which has hand winding, and it does have hacking capabilities. Right, we'll cover that. The bracelet is a I'm just trying to catch the light here. So you got a brush bracelet with a milled clasp with the Seiko logo on the back. It's got this lovely center lugs, center link, sorry. And it's a bit of an odd size on the bracelet. It's actually a 21mm and it's solid end links. So you do get, for the watch, you do get quite a lot of features which you want on your divers. So with the solid end links, the sapphire crystal, so the quality is there. I think these retail, when they were they are discontinued. They were part of the 2016 collection, and they were around the £400 to £500 mark. So when it comes to fashion watches, you are into dressy fashion watches, this is I'd say personally for me one of the nicest looking watches out there. Let's move on to dimensions. It's a 41.5mm diameter case, and it's only 10mm thick, and the lug to lug is bang on 50mm. The bracelet size is 21mm. I'm gonna add in 2 videos of a slow motion video capture of the open heart mechanism. Now moving on, one problem that this watch does have, the crown is absolutely tiny, and it is quite difficult to pop out. As you can see, I've failed. I've cut my nail, so I really can't get a nail in there. But the crown is quite difficult to pop out. There's nothing really to grip it with, so you'll struggle with that. And even the winding is, like I said, the crown's just too small for you to get good enough grip on. So there's one issue with that. Now the main issue with this watch is actually a fake. It's a, as I like to call it, a recreation. Now when I first bought this, I thought it was a real deal, but then I started seeing a lot of these pop up on eBay. I went on the website Wish when I first found out about it, and I saw a bunch of these for sale on there. So I started digging into, I started looking at the watch a lot closer basically, done a few Google image searches, and the thing is, it's a very, very good quality fake. Now, I think people refer to these as the India specials. Now, the models such as the Seiko Prestige, the cocktail time, that's been affected by it as well, where basically the parts are genuine, but they're not Seiko official releases, if that makes sense. Now the way I just confirmed it actually today. I did a bit of Googling. Now if you look on the dial, let's take you through it. Dial says 4R39. A lot of the Seiko dials will say that just to give an indication of the movement in here, yeah? So if we turn the watch around and look at the exhibition back. Now if you look around, so it says on the actual glass NH3E04E0. Now if you try and Google this, you'll come up with loads of these watches. However, none of them are the real deal. The actual model number is, that or should be on the back, is 4R39 00L0 or 00LO, whichever one. But I think it is 00L0. So the movement is, you can see this here. So if you look on the actual wheel, and let me try and get it where it's not covered or obstructed by what it says on the back. There we go. So on the top of the actual mechanism here that spins, it says NH39A, but engraved is 4R39, and you've got Seiko. Now this, first of all, when I first saw that, that looked a bit iffy to me because just the engraving on it isn't the best. It's not very clear, and it's a clear mismatch to obviously what it says on the back and on the dial, because that NH there, obviously this is the movements which the Seiko Epson group sells to watchmakers. So when you've got the Chinese specials, they'll all have NH35s, NH36s, but when you get the official Seiko watches, they'll have the 4R35 and 4R36. Exact same movement, it's just there's less quality control on it from Seiko, and they just sold basically at the back door to other watch manufacturers. You got like Invicta that buy them, and you got a lot of micro brands that buy these movements, and they'll all be NH. So that lets me know that this isn't what it is. Also, on the original watch, on the back of this link here, you've got a number which is stamped. So this lets you know. Having said that, accuracy wise, it's actually bang on. I think I've got 8 seconds of data out of this when I did do my tests on it. And looking at the original pictures, it is exactly the same. There's no difference. So, you know, I've come across a few fakes, and this is by far one of the best, to be honest. There's not that many things which you can tell apart from the original, except the things which I mentioned, but then you have to kind of look at them to know, you know, if it all adds up or it doesn't. So people will sell these, you'll see them pop them on eBay selling them for £200-300, but you know, you can get them off Wish for I think under 100, which is still a good price. Like I said, the movement is fine. It's an actual Seiko movement, and the dials are exactly the same. The Seiko dials. Like I said, the case, even, you know, I don't know how they've done it. Obviously they've got aftermarket parts from Seiko. I think the only thing here is the font here is looks a bit dodgy to me, but the clasp is the same. I actually love the clasp. The bracelet's beautiful. The case is bang on. And yeah, but when I found out, I wasn't too heartbroken over it, to be honest, because I didn't pay much for it, number one, and number two, it just looks stunning to me. This is it's a very beautiful watch, and you know, it is what it is. So I still enjoy this watch. If you have any questions or any comments, please put them down in the video below. I'm not going to do a loom shot because this watch does not come with any loom. It's a dress watch, so there's no loom on it. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Like the video if you enjoyed this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.